here, casting a game from the CasterMuse Narak Star League, and we have two great up-and-coming players from the Terran and Protoss races, respectively. A couple of pro gamers that aren't like championship material yet, but may be in the future. In the bottom left of Hidden Track, we have Ample. Ample is a guy I've been casting a decent amount of his games lately, and I'm really happy to do so because he's one of the more aggressive Terrans, right? Like there's all sorts of different types of Terrans. There's Terrans that play like Flash and just try to macro up and get great upgrades. You know, and then there's more aggressive Terrans like Ample that actually want to attack a whole lot and try to keep their opponents busy. And he's a pleasure to watch, and I'm very excited about his game here and his future. His opponent, our Protoss player, Ruin. Ruin had a reasonably good career in StarCraft 2 for a little bit. Did some of the tournaments on the Asian circuit, and now back to StarCraft 1, of course, where he started. He's kind of in every tournament, and he's definitely a Protoss player that plays a pretty solid PvT, PvP, and PvZ, which I think is a little bit harder to find. A lot of the times, as Protosses start to rise, they'll be a little bit weaker in PvZ, and that'll really hold them back. But I don't feel as much like that's the case with Ruin. I do enjoy his Protoss vs. Zerg. So anyways, I think it's going to be a pretty solid game. Hidden Track is a really interesting map for this matchup. To tell you a little bit about it, you're on a ramped main base. You can see the eggs here, which just kind of make the ramp a little bit smaller, a little bit easier to defend. You get your natural, a reasonably sized choke, and then you get out to this area. Right, and we see that passing by. It looks like Ample, by the way, was trying to do a gasless expand. Will probably take his gas at this point, so he doesn't get it stolen. But you don't necessarily have to. In fact, we don't see him doing that, so maybe that won't be the case. But very annoying when the probe gets there this early when you're going for that barracks expand. Anyways, like I was saying, you get to this double ramped area, and then you have the bridges to the center. Two bridges, so you can actually move good sizes of army over there, but it is still a bit of a choke point. The center, of course, has this giant place that's like almost two bases, and a lot of it's buildable, which makes it very interesting. Also, you can see that offensive gas that I was talking about. I'm a little bit surprised he didn't go ahead and immediately take his gas, but it's okay. You can play like this. But yeah, anyways, the double ramp that goes down opens up for a lot of fun possibilities with army movement. There's actually expansions right around here, here, and here. So there's bases down there, plus you can kind of move through the area with your army, and yeah, it's a cool map. I'm excited to see more of it. Now you see this SCV trying to block the Nexus here for Ruin. Ruin sending his Zealot over. Oh my god, walks right past that first Marine. Some good micro overall. No, I was gonna say good micro, but honestly, but yeah, not really the best micro here from Ample, unfortunately. He's doing an okay job now with those Marines, but takes a bit more damage than maybe he needed to. Still kills off the Zealot, and that's what's important. Now his gas, this is going to be a very late factory, guys. A very, very, very late factory. After you get this killed, it's going to take minimum of 45 seconds to get your factory started. So that is... like, normally your factory starts so much quicker than this, even with the gases expand. But you know what? He's going to remove it. Here we go. Let's take a look over on Ruin's side. You know what? He skipped his cybernetics core, so it's actually all okay. Like, if you don't get Dragoon range, then there's no way to really punish something like this. He has 4 Marines in the bunker. Zealot comes up, takes some hits. He realizes that bunker's pretty darn full, pulls it back, and nothing much that Ruin can do here. So... at the end of the day, it all works out just fine, and the command center finishing up just before the Nexus, which is always a sweet deal as Terran. And we'll see where Ruin wants to go. I don't think he'll go Dragoon range right away, probably tech up immediately. And a Robo. It is a Robo. We'll see if that is for quick observers or maybe a quick Reaver drop. I would imagine it will probably end up being the Reaver drop. We will see. Ample just kind of looking around for any units that might be out in front here. Wants to keep that information at a low. Gets his second gas going. Here's that first factory. And now this is going to be interesting to see where Ample goes from here. He's getting the comms, or the academy, which is pretty common with any time that you get gas stolen and your opponent goes for a quick nexus as well. Generally, you go academy because well, you have a big excess of minerals and your opponent just does not have anything that can really get you quickly, so you don't need the turrets. So yeah, he's going for Academy, but how aggressive will he end up being? 2 factories is pretty standard again after the gas steal, but will he go for more than this? Will it be a dedicated pressure? I assume that it will be. Since you have the 2 factories, you should at least move out and see what's what. Now, Ruin, just kind of scouting around, sends a Zealot to the side. You know, it always could be that Ample does something like a proxy factory. You see him scouting everywhere. And this is, of course, down those ramps I was talking about for Hidden Track. You go down the ramps and you have this kind of interesting third base area. And it has these walls, right, which you can shoot over relatively easily, but do block, you know, like melee units from getting in or vision or anything like that. So anyways, the first Dragoon comes over. He's getting a pretty full scout everywhere. And you can't imagine too much damage being dealt. It looks like over here on the side of Ruin, he's getting Dragoon range, but also getting shuttle speed. So we're definitely going to see some heavy Reaver harassment coming. That first Reaver is still on the way. The comstat's done. He'll probably scan relatively soon to check out what's happening there. Third factory coming up. Siege mode coming as well. Pretty common with such a late base to get that siege mode just in case that your opponent does do some sort of heavy Dragoon play. Getting that engineering bay as well. That's a great thing to start as your comstats are finishing, just to make sure that you do have that anti-air as well as additional detection if you use up all of your comstats. Scouting what your opponent is doing. You never know. Sometimes you scan CSDT attack just in time to die to it. So I just heard that first scan. Scans into the main base and sees its Reaver tech. That's very, 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 very valuable for him. So that Reaver going to be coming across the map and he can get his turrets up. Siege mode is done. Starts the Charon boosters. So a lot of Goliaths going to be popping out as well. Look at that. Yeah. 3 tanks and 3 Goliaths are gonna just wreck if Ruin overcommits with this. Now, Ruin is flying towards the main base. All the units went out to the front, so he's a bit out of position, to be honest. All right, flies right into the main, drops out that Reaver, and immediately gets 4 SCV kills. Beautifully done. Another good Scarab right there. Let's see what else he can do. Oh, another 3 SCVs it looked like. So like 7 SCVs plus some damage, or 8 SCVs, and then also a Goliath. Very high quality first drop. Loses those 2 Zealots, gets out of there with the speed shuttle. Everything looking good, especially considering Ample had a perfect counter to it, right? Like he had the right units. They were just slightly out of position when the Reaver came in. So some great damage being given to Ruin here. As he takes his third Nexus over to the side. Looks like we have an SCV up here just watching. Of course, these would be the next 2 bases that Ruin would be thinking about taking. The Dragoons kind of poking up to the front. He does have an observer on top of the tanks. Realizes that they're actually out of position for the bunker, so we'll add a little bit more damage on. Some turrets being put down. Where is that shuttle? Ah, here it is. Second Reaver is done, so he is flying across. Observer still getting some good intel. We don't actually see a starport as of yet, right? I don't see one anywhere. So he's going to be a little bit late on his upgrades, unfortunately. Maybe he'll start it now. Yeah, there it is. But definitely not as quick as I think he probably wanted. In the meantime, the Reavers push towards the front. 8 kills on that Reaver. Yeah, fantastically done so far from Ruin. Gets another. The depot goes down, gives a supply block to Ample. Very solid opening, I have to say. Now, as arranged, Goliath comes out. He does pull back. But I did hear yet another kill there. 10 on this Reaver. Just so valuable. Ample continuing to just kind of macro. He's got a solid SCV count, right? This is not the end of the world. We've had a good opening from Ruin, but this does not... It's not like Ample's dead by any means. There's still a lot of play left in this game. He's starting to get out some vultures, getting that speed upgrade, still making a lot of tanks and Goliaths as well. Oh, beautiful hole he finds here, and immediately gets a kill onto a siege tank. Might be diving too far, though. Yeah, it looks like that shuttle probably gonna go... Wait a minute. No way. Oh! Oh my god, insane hit there. So he ends up losing it. It was a pretty damn deep dive. But at the end of the day, those 2 Reavers in that shuttle did some amazing damage, slowed Ample down quite a bit. But Ample, of course, with that shuttle gone, can move right out with his army. There is no problem here with him trying to do some sort of move. Now, he's only got 3 facts, so it doesn't feel like he can kill him right now. But it's a moment where you're like, okay, my opponent probably doesn't have Zealot legs. It's like I have a lot of tanks. He doesn't have the Reavers and shuttles, so I can move really far forward. And you see, that is what Ample's doing. This is the killer instinct that Ample has been developing over the years with his very aggressive attacking style. He is getting right out there. And like I said, you can build things in a lot of the area in the middle of the map. It's very buildable. So throwing down a missile turret. Here comes up a shuttle. Oh, he actually doesn't target it with the Goliath and Marines. He could have killed it very quickly, but dropping these Zealots on top. And look at this. Drags the mines in. Beautiful mine drag there from Ruin. And he really weakens this army. Now we don't have any anti-air. The turret didn't finish. The SCV is gone. At least one tank died. Some others took some significant damage. And again, he didn't have that many factories. So he's finishing up 3 more. 6 facts is really, it's a lot. 3, not so many. With 3, you can only push very quickly and get into a nice position. So he's been slowed down. Great moves here from Ruin, who is continuing to macro up like a beast, adding a lot of gates, coming out with another speed shuttle here. Gonna drop some Zealots. Unsieges. Oh, and the Reaver comes out, gets a big hit there as well. The Dragoon's starting to push forward. I don't think he can break it quite yet. Not enough Zealots here. Tries to target down that Reaver. It gets picked up. Whew. A lot of action going down here. Once again, trying to move forward. Wants to base his defense around this missile turret. I would honestly love a 2nd and 3rd missile turret. Okay, puts one here. That's a great position. I think one down here would be amazing as well. Maybe here, maybe here. And then he can continue to push towards these bridges, because once you cut off the bridges, it becomes really hard for Protoss to move around. But he does have the double speed shuttle and will fly over these turrets. A 3rd turret, though, in the main base, going to really punish this. But Psystorm is here, and 5 SCV kills go down. He will end up killing this off, and that is, I mean, that was a pretty big commitment, right? 2 shuttles, Reaver, High Templars, some Zealots. Gets 5 SCVs, yes, but not much more than that. So we'll see what else Ruin has up his sleeve. Looks like he wants to do a counterattack here with the rest of his army. Only leaves a few Dragoons on the front to slow this push down. We do have a few mines here to slow it, which is nice. And I think his eBay just saw these units coming. So yeah, he sieges up a tank. Look at this, ton of mines laid down. And now Ruin gonna throw away a lot of units here. This is not working out for him. Not even a little bit. Getting completely slammed here. Loses the DT, all of the Zealots, and most of the Dragoons. What did he even kill there? Some mines? Not very much. Now Ruin trying, while all those units are over to the left, to slow down the push once again. Slows down this turret. Picks off an SCV. Good stuff. But he did lose a lot of units. Ample continuing this entrenched push. A lot of SCVs coming over right now. And, well, look at this. He's trying to go over the bridge. I don't know if going over the bridge right now is the right play. A nice Psystorm comes down, gets 4 SCVs, and the tank it was targeted upon. Beautifully done there from Ruin. Now, coming up, once again, drops a Reaver off, gets a decent Scarab, a nice Psystorm there as well. And it looks like he will push him back over the bridge. You got to be really careful going up over bridges. Another huge Scarab gets 3 Vultures. But it looks like Ample will continue to push forward. Gets that Archon as it pops out. Looks like Ruin getting ready to take yet another Nexus. We are pretty low over here on Ample's economy, right? Like, he only has 41 SCVs. He doesn't have a 3rd CC. He's kind of just on almost a 2-base all-in right now. He might have a chance to make another Nexus at some point, but pushing over that bridge, again, maybe a little bit too quickly. It looks like Ruin just starts breaking him every time he comes over. This is one of the harder things to do when you're doing one of these pushes, is to get over these small areas, because they just kind of push you back into that choke, into that wall. But Ample continues to push forward. This area here, not as buildable. You have to go all the way up here to get a turret or anything. But some good repairs going down. Ooh, another beautiful storm. Gets the SCVs as well. And Ample's army starting to get shredded here. Looks like he's going to be able to pick off maybe these last 2 tanks. Some more units rallying in. This is a 6-factory rally, as we see, right? 2 tanks at a time. The rest of it in mostly vultures, occasionally a Goliath added in for some anti-air. Would love to see him just target down these shuttles. The shuttles have been so integral to Ruin holding everything and getting that counter damage. So does get that. Picks off this High Templar. No, it actually lives with 2 health as he micros backwards here. Continuing to push. Like, his push is still going. But we do have the 4th Nexus up, right? We have 20 more workers for Ruin. So over time, even if he's trading inefficiently, he could still end up just holding everything and winning this game. All right, a lot of probes being transferred up the side. Got to be careful about that, but does get them out. Another storm going down as he tries to break in. Picking off any tanks he can here in the front. Oh, another nice, strong size storm. Those Goliaths getting very low on health. Ruin pulling back. What a prolonged push we're seeing here. Ample just non-stop with this aggression. Wants to be able to end this game. And honestly, if he can get a foothold up here with a few Goliaths, with Vulture, with Tank, then that's where you start to get the Nexus. And once you hold this area, which is where all the gateways are, then you can kill this space, then you can kill this space almost for free. But you have to get there first. And Ruin is giving no quarter. He is fighting back tooth and nail, trying to stop him from getting all the way up into the choke. Because as soon as you're up there, like past this area, when he has to fight in the tiny choke, Terran is hugely advantaged. All right, once again, looks like Ample. I keep on zooming in because I want that closer view, but the push, you gotta watch as this inches down. It's such an important aspect of it. All right, the vessel is actually out now. That's kind of surprising to see. He's even got 2-1 upgrades on just 2 bases and even expanding to the center. Very cool stuff here from Ample, who lays a bunch of mines in the front. So this is getting much more difficult for Ruin. How do you push out through this now? This is looking pretty good for Ample, like this position that he has. But we do have multiple speed shuttles out. Looks like he's going to fly across the map with 2. It's not the scariest army, like a High Templar, 3 Zealots, and 2 Goons. Ample in the meantime, I mean, taking this base, this is a very rich base. It's not got very efficient mining, though, from anywhere when you have the command center there. So it's, even though it looks like 2 bases, this, with this amount of SCVs, is less than 1 base. Just to throw that out there. It's kind of crazy. Looks like we do get a little drop over here. Only gets 3 SCVs with that storm. Most of the SCVs being transferred. A lot of red ones, so he could end up losing quite a few still. In the meantime, we have the push. He's trying to break out. Doesn't look like he can right now, but still has to deal with this over here, right? Like, you have to get rid of all of these units. You cannot be having your economy so hiccuped once again. Look, he's down to 20 SCVs. This Zealot in the main base just going to town, getting huge amounts of damage. We have a few Vultures running up to maybe hurt another base. Looks like he's already done a little bit of damage here. Of course, we have a couple cannons here at the 3rd, so that's looking okay, but getting on top of the probes, beautifully done by Ample. This is a crazy game. I mean, we have like 7 bases total between the 2 players, but so few workers, 18 against 51, but a lot of those workers now dying for Ruin. Ruin's starting to add in a few more DTs here. You know, Ample has the 2-1 upgrades and continuing to try to push into here. Some great drops go down. A good defense matrix. That storm, though. Oh, my God. Those storms, though, going down all over the tank Vulture. Another one to the side. Will Ruin finally break out of here? It's so close. A few Dragoons left over. The Vulture's coming up laying as many mines as they possibly can as he tries to hold on. And Archon is about to pop out to add that extra damage as well. Still more Dragoons. Only 2 tanks. This could be the moment for him to actually break. But a mine is here. A huge mine hit. The Archon gets on top of the siege tank, and it looks like he has finally broken the pushback beyond his bridges. Oh my God. And I mean, this game's getting insane. He runs out of minerals here. He's run out of minerals here. Ample, on the other hand, has taken so much economic damage. He's still mining from his main and natural. He's finally got some more SCVs over to the center. Again, this is so far from the minerals, it's not really mining all that well. Kind of a crazy game right now. Now, what is this containment? 4 turrets, 2 Goliaths, an SCV, and a vessel. Okay. Looks like another Vulture is over here, though, dealing a lot of damage. That cannon not in range. He's actually dropping probes. Okay. In the meantime, this tiny army right here, the 1 Archon and 4 hero goons that broke the end of that push. I don't know what they're looking to do over here. Maybe a little bit of a counterattack. Looks like the probe drop does end up getting the Vulture, so the probe's really defending themselves. The Observer finds this base in the center. It's not that easy to attack in there. I mean, with the amount of turrets around, the Goliaths, the mines, a couple tanks, not that easy to attack. But a lot of units moving over here for Ruin, bringing a shuttle with 4 High Templars. That is a very powerful and expensive payload he has there. You know, honestly, there's not even enough SCVs to utilize your storms. I think you want to use these on army at this point. All right, let's see if he can actually break through. He's going to try to go up a ramp. Ooh, a good siege location here. Picks off that first High Templar. Storming mines. That's not something you see every day, but good usage here. And that High Templar actually going to drag some mines. It had no energy, so I guess that is good usage of it. Oh, a big mine hit there, though. Ends up blowing up the rest of his High Templars. I guess he has 1 more left over in this shuttle. Not the most effective push we've seen. Maybe he thinks there's more units out here than there are, because there are none. Shuttle going to fly over, kind of check what's going on there. Zot's running in now against 2 tanks in siege mode. Going to be very highly effective. Coming in for a flank, and that's going to be a GG. Ruin beats Ample.